She thought she'd finally found love again, a kind man who called her every morning, sent her poems, promised to build a life with her. But that love would cost her everything. By the time investigators arrived, her savings were gone, her trust destroyed, and the couple behind it all were living in luxury, off other people's heartbreaks. Tonight, we uncover the chilling true story of a Houston area couple who turned love into a weapon, stealing more than $3.1 million from lonely hearts across America. Stay till the end, because how this story ends will shock you. Before we begin, comment where you're watching from, and make sure you hit subscribe. Your support helps us keep uncovering chilling educational true crime stories that could save someone you love. Now, sit back. Let's begin the story in full. We start in Houston, Texas, and across the country, in quiet living rooms, where widows and retirees search for companionship online. Among them was one woman. Let's call her Mrs. W., 67 years old, a widow. She wasn't looking for much, just someone to talk to. Then, one evening, a message appeared. "Hi, beautiful." It came from a man who called himself Robert. He said he was a businessman working overseas. His photos showed designer suits, private jets, a life of success. He told her she was his soulmate, that she made him believe in love again, and slowly, the loneliness inside her began to fade. But Mrs. W. didn't know Robert wasn't real. Behind that keyboard was a man named Darlington Akporugo, 47, from the Houston area, and his partner Jasmin Sood, 37, who used the alias Jaslyn Washington. Together, they weren't just talking to Mrs. W., they were talking to dozens of people across America, spinning the same story: love, trust, forever, only to destroy it once the money came in. At first, Robert never asked for a dime. He took his time, build emotional trust, send good morning texts, said things like, "I can't stop thinking about you." He made her feel seen, wanted. Then came the moment every scammer waits for. He said he was in trouble, a business deal overseas, a frozen account. Could she help him out just this once? $5,000. She wired it. Then came another request. Then another. Within weeks, she had sent more than $200,000. But she wasn't alone. Akporugo and Sood had created an entire operation, a network of fake businesses, bank accounts, and shell companies. Sood handled logistics, setting up the fake accounts, receiving funds, laundering the money through purchases. Akporugo was the voice, the romantic hero behind every message. In one case, they convinced a victim to lease a luxury house and buy a car, which the couple used for themselves. Every dollar came from trust. Every promise was a lie. Romance scams don't start with greed. They start with empathy. These victims weren't foolish. They were human. They believed because they wanted to believe. The scammers studied their targets. They knew what words to use, what emotions to mimic, what kind of future to describe. They built fantasies around loneliness and profited from pain. For them, love wasn't a feeling, it was a business model. Then came the investigation. Across the United States, victims started reporting the same pattern. A stranger, online, a deep connection. Then, requests for money. And suddenly, silence. Federal agents from Homeland Security Investigations and the U.S. Attorney's Office in Houston began to see the links. Dozens of wire transfers, all leading back to the same bank accounts in Texas. Those accounts were opened by Jasmin Sood, and the IP addresses used to send the fake love messages, they all pointed back to Darlington Akporugo. Agents obtained a search warrant. When they raided the couple's house, they found phones filled with fake dating profiles, notebooks listing victims' names, and bank statements showing hundreds of thousands of dollars in deposits. In the driveway, a luxury car, bought by one of their victims. That was the moment investigators realized this wasn't a simple romance scam. It was a multi-million-dollar criminal enterprise built on broken hearts. Quick pause. If you're watching this right now, tell me in the comments, what would you do if you found out the person you loved was a scammer? Would you confront them or call the police? Drop your thoughts below. Now let's continue. When news of the arrests broke, neighbors were stunned. They said the couple looked happy, successful, normal. But behind that perfect image were more than 25 victims. Many elderly, many are widowed, all deceived. In total, losses exceeded $3 million. In federal court, prosecutors described the case as, quote, heartless, calculated, and deliberately cruel. Akporugo pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud. Sood admitted to her role in setting up the fake accounts and laundering the money. When sentencing day came, the courtroom fell silent. Darlington Akporugo, 188 months in federal prison. That's nearly 16 years. Jasmin Sood, 121 months, just over 10 years. Both were ordered to serve 3 years of supervised release after prison. And the final blow, restitution of $3,123,073 to be repaid to their victims. Justice finally delivered, but the emotional damage could never be repaid. One victim told the court through tears, "It wasn't just money they stole my ability to trust." Another said, "I still look at my phone sometimes, hoping the man I loved will text me again." That's the cruelty of this crime. It doesn't just drain your bank account, it empties your heart. Investigators and victim advocates began using this case to educate others. They visited churches, senior centers, and online groups, warning people how easily emotions can be weaponized. Because behind every sweet message could be a professional manipulator. Authorities later revealed that the scammers used carefully written scripts designed to mirror victims' personalities. They waited weeks before asking for money. They often pretended to share the same faith or background. Everything was planned. But there are ways to protect yourself. Number 1, always request video calls early. Number 2, never send money or gifts to someone you haven't met in person. Number 3, beware of excuses, delays, and emergencies that seem too convenient. And number 4, if something feels off, trust your instincts. Love should never require a wire transfer. After sentencing, Homeland Security Investigations released a statement saying this case should serve as a warning to digital predators everywhere. They said, "Your keyboard won't protect you forever." And for the victims, while their losses may never be fully recovered, their courage in coming forward will protect countless others. Mrs. W may have lost her savings, but by sharing her story, she's saving lives. Her pain became a public lesson, a warning to others who might be tempted by the same sweet lies. When we talk about crimes like this, it's easy to focus on numbers: $3 million, dozens of victims, years in prison. But beneath those statistics are stories of trust, heartbreak, and survival. Because what romance scammers truly steal isn't money, it's hope. So the next time someone online seems too perfect, remember what happened in Houston. Love shouldn't cost your life savings, and real connection doesn't come with a price tag. Thank you for staying with us till the end of this episode of Byte Crimes. If you learned something today, please like this video, share it, and subscribe. Your engagement helps us keep creating true crime stories that educate and protect. Have you or someone you know ever experienced an online romance scam? Share your story in the comments. It might help someone else avoid becoming the next victim. Until next time, stay alert, stay safe, and remember, in the digital world of love, not every heart emoji means what it seems.